Kenny Love and your favorite road dog, drill sergeant Chino. We out here again doing these walks and these talks back in Colorado. Some of y'all might know, and some of y'all don't know. I went up under the knife like June 30th. I had to get my hip revision because I had a resurfacing from 2008 that collapsed. And I had to get that redone. I have to get my left one redone. I'll probably schedule that sometime in November. And just get that all taken care of. So when I retire, everything will be done. I'll be good to go. But I decided I'm going to start using some of these, just start redoing some of these videos, as the first couple I did were more experimental, and to get that content out there, because God was kind of on me like, what you waiting on? Get it out. And figured out, learn different things about the camera angle, presentation, how I communicate, just all those kind of things. And come on, baby boy, come on. Chino happy to be back. It was too hot out in Vegas. We could only go out for like short periods of time. Had to go in and get in that AC. So anyway, today it's just kind of been on me about how God has created us for greatness and not mediocrity. And the last video I had posted about the bald eagles, I think I had mentioned something about the victim mentality. And God doesn't like that. He didn't create us to be victims. I'm going to tell you a story. Like when back around 90, probably 96ish. And back then, hold on for a second, spider web just got me. Ugh, all in my mouth. I hate spiders. Okay. Dang. Hope the mug is crawling on me. Hey, if it gets to crawling, y'all gonna see me acting the fool, because I hate spiders. Anyway, back then, around 95, 96, I was going to this church, and my boy Carius came out, KC, and prior to that, I was part of this church for a few years, about 5, 6, 7 years. I became a youth pastor. I was part of a group of youth pastors, young people, and we would put on skits, shows, singing, rapping, doing everything for the young people every week. It's kind of like In Living Color a little bit. And then we branched out and we started visiting other churches, because I felt like that's what God wanted us to do. Get up out of the church and start moving around. And the pastor didn't like that. She wanted us to be up kind of under her thumb at that church. She was saying like she's the body, like that church is the body. And I was like, no, it's a member of the body. These other churches are the members also. We're all one body. All God's people. So we did it anyway. We went out there, we were performing, and we were invited. We were invited to rap and minister. The way we did was creatively. Oh, Chino need a little privacy. Okay, he back on it. Side Chino. We all in your business. Oh, can I see you? Where you at? Okay, I gotta figure this thing out. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, I got some feedback that people want to see more Chino. So I said, okay, let me start showing more Chino. But anyway, so we were out there performing. We were being invited to different churches. We hosted these events called Youth Fest, where we would get other Christian rappers or artists and speakers and musicians, just people that ministered creatively the way they did, using their gifts, and we would put on these events. And we'd go get food donated from the grocery stores of different people, and got volunteers from the church that would come out and help out. And it was just kind of cool. It was just a community event we put on. Nobody would have to pay anything. And God be glorified. And at the very end, we'd always offer an invitation or give that invitation to come to the Father through the Son, Jesus. So that's kind of what this is what I'm doing now with this. But so anyway, some different things went down, and me and Curious ended up getting a letter from the church, getting kicked out the church because we were going to these different churches and doing these different events outside of what the leadership wanted. But I never officially said I was a member of the church or anything like that. I was just volunteering there and going anyway and paying my tithes and offerings there. And then there was something that came up where I ended up where the question of the tithes and offering came into question. How you doing, man? You doing good? All right, partner. That came into question. So I went ahead because I wanted to have some funding for the youth ministry so we could do some things for the kids. They wouldn't have to pay. And if we had a budget, we could plan maybe some trips and do some things. And I was told no. That goes to the main body of the church. And I said, okay, well, what about what I'm paying? Because I was paying a pretty decent amount. I said, how about mine? I let mine cover. And I was told, nope, I'll be cursed. Cursed? That did not sit right. So anyway, and I talked to associate pastor, then went to the main pastor. So I was talking to God about it. And he spoke to me. He said, do you think I'm going to love you? No, he said, do you think I love you anymore because you're paying tithes to the church? And I was like, no. He said, do you think I'm going to love you any less if you don't? Come on, Chino. And I was like, nope. And I was like, okay. So y'all know what I did. I quit paying tithes. And I would just make some offerings here and there and at other ministries and other things, right? And also used it for what I was building up for K&K Productions, got some equipment, doing some other things. And they didn't like that. So I think that's what led to us getting kicked out the church. And they typed up a letter and had one of the brothers from the church. This is a female pastor, and the associate minister was a female, and mostly female leader in the leadership. And I know a lot of people against that. And back then, I was going where I was going, and God blessed me there. I'm not even gonna lie. That's where it really came to me. He started showing me some different things. So anyway, yeah, so we got called in and got this letter in front of all the members at this meeting. Like, publicly humiliated. I was like, felt all bad, like, man, what the heck? And come on, Chino. So anyway, it was a day or two later. I was at home, maybe the next day, maybe I think it was like a Monday, and I think I was in between jobs then, or something was going on, and I was at home, and I was kind of like in a pity party type of mood, like woe is me type of mood, where I was like, what I need to get up for? Oh, nobody need me anyway or something. I was embarrassed to say. I thought it was in my head. But it was something similar to that. And do you know, in my mind, but audibly, I heard God say, boy, get up out that bed. And it thundered in my mind and thundered through my spirit. And I could feel the power in it. And I was like, man, there was so much power in what I felt. He could destroy us instantly with a word or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was like power. And I was like, needless to say, I got up out of that bed. I jumped up out of that bed. And I started laughing. I cracked up. I said, man, God just told me, get up out of that bed. I was in that pity party mood. He wasn't having it. So I shared it with y'all, just to share. Man, he didn't create you to be no victim. He didn't create you to be wallowing in your misery, pity partying, woe is me and all that stuff. He created you for greatness. I say that again. He didn't create you to be mediocre. He gave us all gifts. gifts that we could use to edify other people. It could help to generate wealth for you and your family. It just makes the world a better place. God loves that. You can see it all over. Look at all these successful people in the world, all throughout history, and even today. Billions of people, successful people, utilizing their gifts and their talents. They're benefiting from it. Other people are benefiting from it. That could be you no matter what it is. Look at all these disabled people doing big things. People coming from poverty doing big things. Because you talk to people, I'll talk to some people, they're like, everybody ain't like you, Kenny. Ain't nobody like everybody. You know, we're all uniquely different. But that's one of the reasons I'm coming on social media too. Because I want to tell you some of the stuff that God is telling me, and he's kind of urging me like, go out there and tell him who I am and show him who I am. And I said, that's what we're going to do there. Should have got back to doing some more business, putting his signature everywhere. So that's part of what this is. I decided I'm going to get out here, get back in the ministry, tell people about who God is, share some of the stuff he's showing me and telling me. I'm about to start putting out some of these visions. I might do the first one today. I might end this one short and then do that one the next one. The bald eagle episode I did, I got one already on deck for that one, but I'm experimenting. I did a little rap at the end. So I just got to figure out how I can do it where it's nice and clean and crisp with the music and the rap. So I already written, everything's already done. So that one's probably going to be coming out in the next few days or so too. So anyway, we're going to wrap up here in a minute. I'm saying all this to say, God created you for greatness. He created you with all these gifts. Check out the parable about the gifts and what happened to the people, the folks that utilized their gifts and how he blessed them. And that one person that didn't, and he returned to God with the same gift, or the master with the same gift, master was not happy with it. He took it and gave it to the person that was utilizing his gifts the most. So I'd encourage you, step up, walk into your greatness, plug into God through the Father, through the Son, and let's join this move. Show the world who God is. He gave me this vision, one vision, that he was raining down on his people. And there's a scripture that talks about that in the last days, how he's going to be pouring down on his people. And how the young people are going to be having visions and old folks are going to be dreaming dreams and all this other stuff that's going to be happening. So it's going down, people. I'm not a young man, but I sure am getting these dreams and visions. And I got some that's going to be controversial. But it's all interesting to me. I love it. So I'm about to share it with y'all. So anyway, that's it for now. Check out this next one. Like I said, I'll be introducing that video or the vision he gave me about pouring down on those people. I think that'll be the first one I put out. And it's kind of a trip because also I'll throw this quick story in. Back in the day, I draw a little bit. And I might even share a couple of my little images. Nothing special. But I was trying to figure out how I could get these visions that God gives me and bring them to the world. Bring from the spiritual realm to the natural. So anyway, back at that time, I'll be getting ready to market y'all. Chino. He can't pass it up. So anyway, you done? Come on. Okay, yeah, he kicking his feet out now. Y'all see him? He kicking his feet out. He like trying to stir it up like, hey y'all, I want y'all to get all this dosage. So anyway, yeah, so he was showing me all this stuff. And I was like, I need to figure out a way to do this. So I went to the Art Institute. I had just moved to Florida, trying to get a job. It was one of them down periods where I was struggling to go ahead and just keep afloat. And I went to Florida trying to get a military position. Anyway, that didn't work out. But, and like I said, I ended up going in the reserve, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I started going to the Art Institute as a way, there we go again. He about to drop bombs. Okay. I gotta pick this up. Come on. Anyway, so I go to the Art Institute. I went for 1 semester, thinking that could be a way I could improve my skills to bring it from the spiritual realm to the natural. Well, I was the worst student in the class. I was the worst artist in the class. I draw, my instructor would get mad at me. He would say, put some shading on the egg, right? Like, you know, you shade the eggs or rendering or whatever. I forgot what they call it. I think that's what they call it. So anyway, I was trying to shade the eggs up, but I just couldn't get it at that time. I guess I just didn't put enough effort into it or whatever. But he'd get my work and he'd just be shouting, concentrate, concentrate, you know, all in front of the class. I was like, man. So humbling, but hey, funny at the same time. But I did learn some stuff. Then another one, I was up there. We had this one assignment. You had to take one image from one point, and then you had 6 different stages where it had to transform from one thing to the next. So, like for instance, you might want to take a baby chicken into chicken on the dinner plate or something, you know. Hey, that's kind of a good one. I should have thought of that one, but I couldn't think of anything. So I created a superhero that turned into a boot. He turned into a boot. So as I was drawing it, I was cracking up. And then when it was my time to present, because you actually had to present your work, I go in front of the class and it was like, Ken, what is your thinking behind this? And I had it up and I already was smiling and kind of laughing. And other people started laughing too. And so I tried to explain, okay, well, this is a superhero. So he was kicking crime's butt. He was kicking crime out of the city. So this is his true nature. You know, I said something crazy like that. So they were cracking up. I was cracking up. But anyway, that was my Art Institute experience. I had 1 semester in and out. And, but anyway, saying all that to say that look at it how it is today. Technology is an advance where now all I have to do is go to AI and I could tell AI what it is, the picture that I want. I tell them the vision. It creates a vision or an image very close to what I see a lot of times. So that's how I'm going to present. I'm going to go ahead and share images or these short videos that look very similar to what God has showed me. So I just think that's very exciting. That was something I'd even asked God about like 20 something years ago. And even though I'm not saying that's the reason we got AI and AI is advanced, you know, to the point that it has, but that is something I did ask and now it is here. So God has his timing. So again, this is very exciting. Come to the Father through the Son, Jesus. That's the ticket. And come along on this journey. Watch how this thing grows. All right. Watch for the next one. Love y'all. We out.